Hello and welcome back to Umineko. When last we left off, we finished basically a two-parter of a huge action scene that culminated in 5 more people dying. It was 6, wasn't it? Many deaths. I don't know why you're mad, Battler.
You don't? Everyone was killed by that damn geezer. Who was saying something crazy about Beatrice's... Who was saying something crazy about Beatrice's resurrection ceremony or whatever?
So by now, 13 people have been offered as sacrifices. And it's already time for Beatrice to revive, right?
Sure, that sounds great. I'll find Beatrice too and kill them both.
We've survived the ceremony, so we'll receive an invitation to the Golden Land from Beatrice. Over there, all wishes will be granted. If having your family killed is painful, then you just have to resurrect them. And that's what I plan to do. I'll revive the really nice, real mama. The one who isn't possessed by that black witch.
So Mama...
Oh. So Mama will always be with me. There won't be any more overtime or working on days off. She'll always be with me and think only of me. And she'll always fight against fearsome enemies for my sake.
There's something wrong with you. Why are you saying something so incomprehensible in a situation like this?
Didn't Kyrie just tell you, Battler? Didn't she tell you to believe in the witch?
Fuck. This is no time to get in an argument with you over something like this. Now, there are no hostages or anything. Anyone left alive. This weird, shitty ceremony game is already over. Let me do what I want now. Someone might still be alive. Or someone might be hiding. I'll search everywhere, find them, and beat the shit out of them.
In a rage, Battler grabbed his hat stand spear, and flew out of the room. Maria watched him go, looking bored. Even though Beatrice will grant our wishes soon anyway. Stupid Battler. At that time, the phone rang out again. Maria stood up and grabbed the receiver. Who? Hello? Who? Who? Of course, the sound of the phone also reached Battler's ears as he was about to dash out of the house. With a violent forcefulness, he turned around and dashed into the cousin's room.
Maria! Who was the phone call from?
With a terrifying look on his face, Battler yelled at Maria, who was on the phone. You couldn't blame him. Right now, the only humans left alive on the island were himself, Maria, Goda, and Kumasawa. But there was no way those two could call after being locked up in the gardening storehouse. Which meant there was only one person left. It had to be Kinzo. After continuing her pleasant chat with the person on the other end of the phone for a while, Maria slowly turned to face Battler. Then, with an unsettling expression on her face, she laughed. It felt almost as though the person on the other end of the line was chatting about Battler.
Maria, who's on the phone? Grandfather?
Battler couldn't imagine that this was the case. After all, it was inconceivable that Maria would talk intimately with Kinzo, and that she would be chatting about Battler with that eerie smile on her face. So just what kind of person could be on the phone? Who could make Maria chat with a smile like that? At that time, in the back of his mind, the words Kyrie had spoken to him drifted up. If a witch does appear, there's no need to doubt it. Just believe that it exists. Yeah, Battler just came back. He sure is jumpy.
Maria, who's on the phone? Who?
Hand it over? Sure. Here, Battler. After getting the consent of the person on the other end, she held the receiver out to Battler. Here. Maria held the receiver out for him to take, as though it was perfectly normal. Battler hesitated just a little bit before taking the receiver. After all, by accepting the existence of the person at the other end, he'd have no choice but to acknowledge them. As Kyrie said, there is no longer any need to doubt that they exist. Battler took the receiver. As he did, Maria briskly left the room. Battler, who was a bit scared to find out for sure who was at the other end of the receiver, questioned Maria before taking the call.
Hey, where are you going?
To where my test is. I wonder who the next Ciconia family head will be, Battler or me.
Don't go! You'll be killed!
I won't be killed. The ceremony is already over, and even if I'm killed, I'll be revived. Whether one of us becomes the head or not, we've already been invited to the Golden Land. See you.
Wait! Maria!
Battler stretched his hand out to Maria's back as she left, but the cord of the receiver that he was gripping stopped him, just like a chain. He readied himself. Battler put the receiver to his ear.
Hello?
Congratulations! And I'm fine. And you? Screwed up, mocking English filled his ears. It was the voice of a woman he didn't know. Who was it? The inside of his head was starting to freeze up. Who was it? What do you mean, who is it? Assure me a battler? Normally, you'd answer, yes, I'm fine. Right? That takes me back. You do that one in middle school, right? That thing you do in pairs. Yeah.
You're insane! Who are you? Answer me!
Say it in English. Isn't that your speciality?
Don't fuck with me. Who are you? An underling of that damn geezer?
Underling is a mean way to say it, is it not? At least say prisoner. And Kinzo is my prisoner, right? What? That last laugh didn't sound like it was aimed at Battler. It was almost as though Kinzo was right next to the phone, cackling as well.
Say your name. Who are you? Who?
Guess right, and you could win a free trip to Hawaii. Yeah. Finally. It was so long. The days leading up to today were really long. I seriously waited 1,000 years for today. Get it? I owe it to you. My big resurrection. Thank you, Kinzo. Just for you, I'll lend an ear to that last. I'll take that move back of yours.
My, aren't you getting a tad too excited? Couldn't you act a bit more ladylike?
Kinzo and Beatrice sat facing each other over the chessboard on the reception table. There was expensive cheese and snacks to go with drinks. And there were several empty wine bottles lined up. As Beatrice rolled around on the sofa in an unseemly way, she happily held a wine glass in one hand, and was probably completely drunk. I'm in the best mood today, so here's a huge bonus for you. Hey, Kinzo, don't use Chateau Petre as a decoration. It's from 1947, right? If you don't open it today, just when do you plan on opening it? Let's drown ourselves in it and play. Then let's whack each other with the empty bottles.
How amusing. You're too excited. And you're letting loose too much.
And what about you, Kinzo? Aren't you happy to be reunited with me? It's the living world, the earthly world. Long live my flesh.
What are you going on about? Are you saying that you're Beatrice or something?
Yes, I am. Thanks to Kinzo's 13-person murder ceremony, I've finally been resurrected. It's nice having a mouth. It's nice having a tongue. How fun it is to be able to talk to you like this. Come to think of it, even though we slapped each other with abuse so many times, over and over again, this is the first time we've had a conversation like this on the board during the game, isn't it? How very fresh. Oh, did you hear that pop sound just now? He opened it. He seriously opened that Chateau Petreux. Do you know how much a single bottle costs? Almost as much as a whole 10-kilogram ingot. You see?
Cut the crap! Beatrice? The Golden Witch, you say? Give it a rest. Where are you? Is that damn geezer with you too? I'll beat the shit out of both of you. Where are you now? Answer me.
Oh, so you want to meet me? It's tough being such a popular woman. But please, don't try to chat me up when Kinzo's around, okay? This guy gets seriously jealous, so he has a bad temper, you see. But when Kinzo isn't around and we're all alone, I love you all you want in secret, okay?
You're insane.
Kinzo, I've changed my mind. I won't do Maria's test. You go.
How fickle. So, are you saying you'll do Battler's test?
Nothing wrong with that, right? That guy's so much like a younger you that it makes my heart race. Don't worry, I won't cheat on you. This'll be the only time I'll be alone with him. I'm always alone with you in bed, right? But no more tying me to the bed with a collar, okay? Well then, battler, I, the Golden Witch Beatrice, will be conducting your test myself. As for the place, yes, let's make it the front entrance to this mansion. Battler, make sure you try seriously hard in this test to become the successor, okay? I mean, Kinzo's practically dead on his feet. If you become his successor, you'll be the new owner of everything on this island. If it's you, I wouldn't mind becoming all yours. See? Rule over me just like Kinzo did. Okay?
The front entrance of the mansion. Perfect. You drunk bastard. I'll sober you up. I'll fix that hangover with a burning punch. Prepare yourself.
Battler impulsively slammed the receiver down. There was no need to talk through it anymore. I'll meet her face to face and settle this. I took the spear I'd made from the hat stand and went outside without even an umbrella. It's hard to imagine that the young woman calling herself Beatrice is waiting for me alone. I should probably assume that, as Koda-san and the rest said, she'll be waiting with supporting troops. Going alone would be too reckless.
Koda-san, Kumazawa-san. It's me, Battler.
I headed for the gardening storehouse first. I need all the help I can get. Koda-san is big, so I can probably count on him for some firepower. Kumasawa's knowledge and familiarity with the terrain as a senior servant might become a huge weapon. Both of them have master keys, and they know more about the mansion than I do. They'll be pretty reliable allies. As I banged on the shutter and called out for them to open it, I remembered that there was nothing they could do from the inside. I would have to get the key back from them before opening the door. I rounded the corner, knocked on the small latticed window there, and opened it.
Koda-san, Kumasawa Ba-chan. It's Battler. Hey, come on, get up. Hey.
The scene in the shed, lit by a dim light bulb, was very strange.
Koda-san. Kumasawa.
From a low ceiling beam hung two thick ropes, and at the ends, Koda-san and Kumasawa-san were hanging by their necks. It was dim and cramped because of the various pieces of equipment strewn about, so I couldn't make out the situation clearly. But when they showed not even a tremor after I called out to them, and because of the way the loops around their necks seemed to carry the full weight of their bodies, I could sense no trace of life from them.
You've got to be kidding me. Right? Why?
The shutter was still closed, and there was only a single key, which had supposedly been given to Koda-san. So how had the culprit opened the shutter and killed both of them inside? No, wait, they weren't necessarily killed. If this is a suicide, that way this closed room makes sense, but I don't know why they would hang themselves and commit suicide. Feebly, I slumped down on the spot. Now the only humans left alive on this island are me, Maria, and that damn geezer. No, there's also that insane woman calling herself Beatrice. There's Maria, who had acted like the witch's ally from the beginning, and that geezer, the ringleader who revived the witch. And the witch herself. What the hell? By now, I might as well be the only one on this island. Using my pole as a cane, I feebly rose. Damn, I can't do it like this. I've got to avenge everyone.
Damn it! It's useless this way. It's useless. It's all useless. Damn it!
Might as well cry while I can, so that my frail emotions will be squeezed out with my tears. Then I straightened up and gazed into the darkness in the direction of the mansion. At the entrance to the mansion, the witch is waiting. I'll go and settle this. I'll find the source of this weird, insane night and crush her with my own hands. Amidst the pouring rain, I walked through the rose garden without an umbrella, letting myself get soaked. I could see the arbor on the other side. According to Jessica, it seemed that George Anarchy had also been killed. Well, by this point, there's no need to worry about the lives of any hostages. I left the path, aiming for the arbor. Then, I saw George Anarchy's weather-beaten corpse. Oh! For the first time in a while, we have an update. I guess I'll read the narration a little bit first, because there may be stuff that we should read here first.
Anarchy. Damn.
The corpse was in front of the arbor. If he had died under the arbor, he might have at least been spared being beaten down upon by the rain. In Anarchy's forehead was a gaping hole as though he'd been shot with a gun. Perhaps because the rain had washed everything away, his face wasn't covered with blood, so he looked almost like he was sleeping. However, his clothes were stained a deep red, and there were still signs that a large amount of blood had flowed out. How happy I'd be if he were sleeping, or else pretending to be dead. But even though the rain sprayed against Anarchy's eyes, they remained open. And the hole in his forehead was no joke, but absolutely real. There had been a faint chance that even Goda-san and Kumasawa-san hanging by their necks in the gardening shed had been them playing a bad joke. But that naive possibility had now been completely denied. And as I looked at this corpse, I became completely sure. Just as Goda-san had once said, the enemy had come to take lives like pieces on a chessboard.
There's no mistake. It seems that old geezer and the witch really don't view our lives as anything more than that.
That damn witch said something over the phone. Something about us being on the game board.
Perfect. I see. She thinks this is a game. Then, if you killed everyone like it was a game, it's okay if I kill you all like it's a game, right? Prepare yourself, Beatrice.
Okay, now I will go read that update. Sometimes they have, like, very minor slide-ahead spoilers. Assure me, George. his corpse was found in the rose garden arbor. There was a single hole right in the center of his forehead. It's probably reasonable to assume he was shot with a gun or something similar. It's a brand of humiliation, marking his defeat to Gap. The lightning caused the mansion's vast shadow to rise up. Finally, the mansion. As the massive shape came into view, there was no silhouette of any person. It seemed that there weren't any underlings waiting for me in a pack or anything like that. According to Kiryu-san, there were massive amounts of attendants with goat heads. At least for now, I couldn't sense a large group of them hiding and staring at me. What's this? Beneath the roof of the entrance. There's something set down.
What is this? A box?
It looked like the kind of small box that girls often keep trinkets in. Or maybe it was the same kind of extravagant cigar case you'd find in a reception room. Either way, it didn't look like something that should be here. It clearly looked as though I was being told to open it. But for some reason, opening something being offered to me was irritating. However, it didn't look like we'd get anywhere if I didn't open it. Could it be that it's set up with some trap to make it explode when opened? Thinking things like that, forgetting even to come under the overhang, I continued to glare at the box, still beaten down upon by the rain. Then, mixed in with the thunder, was some kind of music. It sounded like that. It was the tone of the big clock in the hall announcing midnight. It was also a sound announcing that this insane day, October 4th, had finally ended, and that the much more incredibly insane day of October 5th had begun. That sound quieted, and I could hear an eerie laugh coming out of nowhere. I got the feeling that the voice was coming from the heavens, and I looked up at the sky. What I saw there was a woman I'd never seen before. No, it's not true that I never saw her before. I saw her once, today. Yes, in the portrait, inside the mansion. The clothes were different, but that face was just like the witch of the portrait. Who am I kidding? I already know who this person is.
Are you Beatrice?
Yahoo, battler! From the second floor balcony, leaning out under an umbrella and waving high-spiritedly, was, without a doubt, the witch of the portrait, Beatrice. Was the plan for the boss to take a bird's-eye view and let the goat underlings torture me to death? I adjusted my grip on the spear, and imagining goats creeping out of the nearby shadows and the entrance and surrounding me, I raised my guard in all directions. Be at ease, there's no one here but you and me. See? No goat furniture, no demon butlers or teacher, not even the demon who's my close friend. And there's none of the gold butterflies that compose my flesh, no magic circles, and no summoners as witnesses. Do you know what that means?
No clue. Quit babbling.
It is true that I have met you several times, even in this world, almost as though we just missed each other. Oh, it is true that I have... Oh, wait, no, sorry. I thought I misread for a second, but I read that right. It is true that I have met you several times, even in this world, almost as though we just missed each other. As you know, this world of humans is filled with a toxin just by your existence and your doubting of me. Almost like solid ramparts, strengthening the guard around you, the king. And through multiple games, I have advanced pieces one by one, split them apart and cornered them, leveling your ramparts bit by bit. Then, a faint crack finally opened, and I sent a bishop in, so that it could approach right up next to you. But as you know, bishops are pieces with blind spots. As long as you stay on the black squares, a bishop on black can wield a massive influence. But if you escape just one step to a white square, even if I close in right next to you, I will not be able to touch you. That is why I have progressed through this game by sending in various pieces to prevent you from staying on a white space. Forcing you out in front of me, the one who controls the black squares next to you. However, there are now holes opened all over your ramparts, and I was able to send in not a bishop, but a full queen. Do you know what kind of piece a queen is?
A rook plus bishop. Is this what you're trying to say? That now you not only control the black squares that are part of the illusion of the witch, but have been able to eat into the white squares of the human world at will?
That is correct. You have been calling the squares with the gold butterflies that are my minions the illusion of the witch, and you have denied them as unobserved unrealities, right? I know. For that very reason, I have openly descended to the white squares like this. Do not worry, I'll call plenty of gold butterflies and goats, demons and witches later. If you wish, I'll invite you to the Golden Land. There, any wish can be granted.
It's starting to look like someone knocked an ink bottle over the chessboard of this island.
I see a pleasant phrasing. Soon you will be covered in ink as well. You will finally become covered with pitch black and will shortly become a black king. You really are pitiful, drowning in a sea of ink right now, aren't you?
No, that's wrong. I'll admit that the island has been stained completely black from your ink bottle, but there's still a white square left.
Oh, where?
Right under my feet. Your ink of magic tried to cover the entire island, but it can't cover the ground my feet are standing on. Even if this island seems to be stained pitch black at a glance, I am me. I'm here, stepping on a white square.
It's strange. Until a second ago, I was shivering all over. But now that she's appeared openly right before my eyes like this, my terror has actually lessened. Interesting. Ghosts are most terrifying when you can only sense them. When you can see them, and they have a face you can plant your fist into, there's nothing scary about it. However, she definitely isn't an interesting or a friendly person. She can kill me instantly by snapping her fingers while rolling around and giggling. Whether we interpret the result of her snapping her fingers as magic flying at me or underlings showing up to shoot me, it doesn't matter. Anyway, whether this is fantasy or mystery, that queen is in a position where she can kill me just by snapping her fingers. I see. So does this mean she's the queen of this island? Who reigns over both the white and black squares? Well then, it might be amusing to wait until you catch a cold in all that rain, but it's about time to move to the matter at hand. Can you see the box down there? Your test is inside it.
Wait, after all that's happened, I'm not interested in some stupid game about who'll become the successor. My game is to take you and that damn geezer, and all of you guys who killed everyone, and smack him with a Gyan punch. One of those face crushers.
Oh, so you will fly through the air up to my balcony? Very well, very well. Then look, come on right now. Here, here, up, up.
Damn you, acting so carefree just because you're in a completely safe place. I'm coming over there right now, so prepare yourself and wait for me.
Ah, no, no. The door is locked. Of course, the shutters are down for all the windows. My castle isn't so fragile that a single knight like you could break in. I tried opening the door to the entrance anyway, but it really was locked. When I looked around, I noticed that the shutters were closed on the windows after all. Normally, those wouldn't be closed.
Looks like you've prepared for everything. Where's the key?
Goda-san and Kumasawa-san probably had master keys, but they were in the closed room of the gardening shed. I can only give up for now.
Damn. Guess she's no fool herself.
You really want to be right beside me so much? Alright, if you impressively pass your test, why don't I grant you an audience? If you pass, then you'll become the successor and my new master. My flesh and soul will be yours to do with as you please. For I am no more than the Ashura-miya family's furniture.
Well, it looks like you want me to make it looks like you want to make me take this test no matter what. Okay, I'll give it a shot. If I pass, my first prize will be a punch to your face.
Scary, scary. But it's not like I mind being controlled by violence, you see. Grab onto my head, make my face twist in pain, tear me apart like a hawk does with its talons to its prey, scratch at me, and trample upon me. Ah, remind me of Kinzo in his younger days once more. That single time in my 1,000-year life. Remind me of that day I was taught the joy of being controlled, surrendering, and being reduced to furniture.
You damn drunk. We aren't getting anywhere.
Ignoring the stupidly smiling witch, I picked up the box. Yes, open it. Inside is a letter. Read it. I opened it. There was a faint smell of cigarettes. Apparently it really had originally been a cigar case. But there were no cigarettes or cigars inside. Instead, there was a western envelope with the one-winged eagle crest. And when I opened that too, there was a letter inside. I looked up at the witch. She was grinning down at me. It seemed she was looking forward to seeing what kind of reaction I'd have to the contents. Damn, just perfect. Its contents were something like this. Among the 3 mentioned below, in order to gain 2, sacrifice 1. 1, your life. 2, blank's life. 3, everyone else's lives. If you do not choose one, all of the above will be lost.
What's this? Some pretty creepy stuff's written here. More importantly, the second one's blank, so I don't even know whose life it's supposed to be.
Indeed, that second one is where you put the name of the one the test taker loves the most. For Jessica's test, it was Cannon's name, and for George's test, it was Shannon's. Since they had obvious feelings for certain people, those names were written in beforehand. But I don't know whom you have feelings for. So I didn't know whose name to write and left it blank.
That's perfect. I love you, Beatrice. I'll stick your name in here. In that case, I'll choose the second choice. Happy now?
Hey, quit joking. Hey, please, Battler. Tell me the name of the person you have feelings for. If you don't, then this won't be a test, right?
Sorry, I don't have any girl in particular. Even if I did, why the hell would I tell you?
In that case, this test will not work for you. What a shame. And I was really wondering what kind of woman was your cup of tea.
What would you do if I said I liked flat-chested lollies with long black hair? That wouldn't match you at all, right?
Lies, you breast sommelier. Blonde and bouncy is best, right? Am I not truly the embodiment of your ideal?
If guessing your 3 sizes of the test to become the successor.
Yes.
Did I skip it? Oh, I missed a bit, sorry. I'll take it gladly.
Yes. This was the test to choose the successor, wasn't it? It was so fun chatting with you that I've been getting a bit off topic. Then let us begin the test. I will question you to see whether you are qualified to be the successor to the Ashura Mia family headship. Answer with care. The witch, who had been joking around like she was drunk until a second ago, suddenly regained her dignity. She looked as though she truly had stepped out of that majestic portrait. I am the Ashura Mia family alchemist, the Golden Witch and the Endless Witch, Beatrice. Do you have the qualifications to inherit the Ashura Mia family and all of my gold? That is what I will test. State your name.
Ashura Mia Battler.
When faced with a dignity you wouldn't have imagined from her appearance a short while ago, I answered without any hesitation. And from that, yes, I see. I can tell why she's worthy of calling herself the true queen of this island. Very well, Ashura Mia Battler. However, for these 6 years you have thrown away that Ashura Mia name, have you not? Why was that?
Because I ran out of love for that old bastard.
I know. It was because you felt that your father's remarriage disgraced the death of your mother, whom you respected. Yes? I see. You have no blood relation to your new mother whatsoever. It's not as though I can't understand why you'd be unable to accept that mother. However, no matter whom your father remarried, that wouldn't change the fact that his blood runs in your veins. Correct?
What are you trying to say?
I can somewhat understand the childishness that led you to resist your father's remarriage, since you wanted him all to yourself. However, was throwing away the Ashuramiya name as a means of resistance not a disgrace to your family and blood? You were born and raised Ashuramiya, were you not? Do you think you had the right to forget that debt and throw away the Ashuramiya name?
It's got nothing to do with you. This is between me and Dad.
The Ashuramiya name does not belong to you and your father alone. That was your childishness, nothing more than your inability to forgive the fact that your father was stolen away by an unknown woman. Those 6 years during which you threw away the Ashuramiya family register were a significant period during which you covered the Ashuramiya family in mud. Know the depths of that sin.
Well, sorry I'm so childish.
However, even though it occurred around the time of the deaths of your grandparents, you did well to return to the Ashuramiya register. For that, let us give you a chance to purify that sin yourself. Now is the time to compensate for your sin of 6 years ago. Come, try to remember. Remember your own sin. Remember that. Confess and repent. That is the test I shall give you. At that time, a massive thunderclap rang out, making my mind go blank.
What do you mean, repent? Are you trying to tell me to apologize?
The test has already begun. You may think as you wish. The witch's expression did not look like a person forcing a tough question on someone and sneering at them. She was asking seriously, and he could even sense a quiet determination. Even though the rain fell on Battler, he did not shift his eyes from that gaze. The witch threw her umbrella away. She abandoned herself to the falling rain, so that the rain would fall on her until Battler answered that question. She had chosen to let the rain fall on her as well until he reached an answer. For some reason, Battler understood that. And yet, he didn't understand.
Well, if you put it that way, I do think I was being childish. All things considered, even Dad getting remarried didn't cancel out the debt I owed for him raising me. I hear that Dad always kept on paying for my living expenses, and that he even said he wanted to participate in school events. The only reason he couldn't come was because I told Grandpa and Grandma not to let him come, no matter what. It's true that I can't argue back if you want to call that my childish resistance. But you know, in that case, who would clear away Mom's, Ashuramiya Asumu's regrets? Even though Mom was so devoted to our family and did the very best she could. Despite that, Dad was cheating with Kirie-san. He even got her pregnant with Anji. And then, along with her birth, he rushed to move them into his register. If that wasn't a betrayal of Mom, then what was it? Who will clear up Mom's regrets? But what you're saying is also right. Even though the cheating was a fact, the debt I owed him for being raised was real too. In that case, they cancel each other out. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with me leaving the family, is there? That's right, I had the right. No, the duty to smack Dad in Mom's place, didn't I? But I didn't do that. I left without saying anything, as though I hadn't been there in the first place. And Dad forgot all about me and started a new family with Kirie-san and Anji. Doesn't that settle everything? But since then,
6 years have passed. Time healed the anger. Kirie-san understood my anger, and even so she tried to interact with me, even if it meant tearing her heart apart. Anji didn't know anything about the situation, and even though I lived in a separate house, she was raised believing that I was her real big brother and loved me as if it were true. Dad casually said to come home any time I wanted.
It started to feel more and more ridiculous. I thought it was about time for me to cool my head as well. So I said I'd put it all behind me as long as Dad apologized. Then came the day of Grandpa's funeral. Then he really did put his hands on the floor and apologize, looking unbelievably pathetic. Dad did that and seriously bowed his head to me. You see? When I saw that, I felt like it'd be stupid to keep it up any longer. I'm sure Mom thought the same thing. Every time Dad and I fought, Mom would always laugh and mediate for us. "No, were you fighting over something that silly?" is what she'd say. I could feel Mom saying that and laughing. So, though I couldn't actually say I'd forgive him, I thought it might be okay to start over again from square one. So I decided to wind everything back to how it was 6 years ago. Then, I returned to the Ashuramiya family register. I'd also cried, raged, and worried for a whole 6 years. It might have been the same for Dad, and for my dead mom. Maybe even for Kirie-san and Anji. So we went back to square one, and I returned to being a Ashuramiya battler. That's my immediate family's problem, and has nothing to do with the Ashuramiya family. You have no right to judge that as a sin, and I have no obligation to show repentance to you. If there was anyone I should have done that for, you've already killed them. So I won't apologize for anything. I won't repent. That's my answer for this test.
Is that all?
What?
Part of me had fully responded to her provocation, and I'd supposedly vented out all the stuff I'd kept inside my chest. Stuff I hadn't wanted to show anyone. That was what the witch had supposedly been expecting. And yet, the witch's blank expression didn't change in the slightest. I'd been sure she'd start cackling and guffawing, sneering at my childish, foolish, and shameful past. But to the contrary, I could feel a sense of disgust about her. Something you could almost call disappointment.
What do you mean, is that all? I've exposed everything about me, right? What more could you want?
That still isn't enough to clear away your sins.
Clear away? What the hell? Are you asking me to prostrate myself right here and apologize like Dad did?
That's not it. I have no interest in matters concerning your immediate family or your home. Where are we? Rokkenjima. The main residence of the Ashuramiya head family. Isn't there a sin you ought to remember, fitting for this place?
Are you saying that I have another sin?
Remember Ashuramiya battler. Not being able to remember that is your sin. For that reason, I shall forgive you. If you can remember it, I shall forgive you. Remembering that is my test of atonement for you.
Even if you tell me to remember.
Remember, That's what makes it a sin.
Sorry, Beato. I have absolutely no memory of it. You make it sound like I caused you trouble 6 years ago or something. But I supposedly met you for the first time at this family conference. It's true that your legend also existed 6 years ago, but I shouldn't have been acquainted with you.
Naturally. On the Rokkenjima of 6 years ago, I had not yet materialized.
Then what kind of sin are you saying I have? Are you saying I've sinned against you somehow?
Don't make me say the same thing twice. I had not materialized 6 years ago. There was no way for me to become acquainted with you. In the world that you are, it was as though I didn't exist. Beato's cold eyes felt as though they were pursuing some kind of sin. At a glance, it felt as though she still hated me for something I'd done to her, and that she blamed me for it. However, I naturally didn't have a clue, and Beato had said it herself. 6 years ago, there was no link between us. 6 years ago, no person called Beatrice existed for me.
At least give me a hint. Does this sin have anything to do with you and me?
I had no connection to you 6 years ago. Remove me from your thoughts already. Why do you think it is a sin against me?
Your eyes.
My eyes? Oh.
Because your eyes are whispering at me to apologize. But I had no connection with you 6 years ago, and it looks like you acknowledge that too. Is that true? Is it really not a problem between me and you?
I already said it wasn't. No problem between me and you has anything to do with this.
But still, your eyes are telling me differently. So I don't even have a clue. Can you say it in red? Can you proclaim that the sin you're telling me to remember isn't something between you and me?
Very well. The sin I am now demanding that you remember is not between a Shoromia battler and Beatrice.
Then, why are you looking at me with those eyes?
I don't know. I am simply gazing at you blankly. If it feels that way to you, perhaps there's something making you feel that way.
What kind of sin are you saying I have?
A Shoromia battler has a sin.
And I'm asking you what kind. I'll bet it's just some trivial sin like hitting someone or tricking someone.
Because of your sin, people die.
Liar! I've never killed anyone. Then say it. Who did I kill? When? Who? How?
Due to your sin, a great many humans of this island die. No one escapes. All die.
What? What kind of incomprehensible thing are you saying? Are you saying I killed everyone? I'm a killer?
It doesn't mean you carried it out directly. However, because you committed a sin from an imperfection in the cogs that stretched back a full 6 years, a distortion was created. And tonight, this many lives are lost. You are one of the causes of this tragedy.
Quit messing around. I'm the cause? Then what? Are you saying 13 people died because I abandoned the Ashuramiya register 6 years ago? Are you saying that 13 people died because I came back to the Ashuramiya family after 6 years? Don't fuck with me. Give it a rest. For these 6 years, I've been the man farthest away from the Ashuramiya family, right? How could I have influenced anything in any way? It's not like I came to the family conference because I wanted to, right? I'd returned to my family after 6 years, so to make up for that lost time, I came to Rokkenjima reluctantly. It's not like I had some duty to come here today. I came back because of that, a massacre occurred? Then what? Are you saying that if I hadn't come back, no one would have had to die? Say it in red. Can you say it in red that if I hadn't come back, this massacre crime wouldn't have occurred? There's no way you can say it, because you're the culprit for everything. Repeat it! If Ashuramiya Battler hadn't returned to Rokkenjima, this crime wouldn't have occurred. If you can say it, try saying it. Can't do it, can you? You can't say it. The culprit is you, not me. Don't try to rub that responsibility off onto me. Answer in red. Try to repeat it. You can't. My existence has nothing to do with the crime. Quit saying incomprehensible stuff and trying to confuse me.
I began to remember the coldness of the raindrops that kept pounding down. The rain earlier had just hurt, but now I felt a tormenting cold from those raindrops. Is there nothing that you remember?
Sorry. I don't even have a clue. Hey. I'm starting to get a little pissed off. If there's something you want to say, then say it. If you have a grudge against me, you just have to say it out loud. Don't do it in such a dirty way, forcing me to remember.
I'll ask one more time. Can you remember any sin?
No! I can't remember anything.
So, he says that he can remember nothing. With this, are your regrets at an end? Indeed. Even a hopeless bet can leave behind regrets if you do not take it. That's enough. The betting itself has meaning. That may be true. In that case, this is the end of my regrets and my game. What will you do? Who knows? I'm not interested at all anymore. Sorry, but I wish to leave the game board now. I see. I understand. I will take over for the rest of the game. You may rest. Indeed. All that remains, I will finish. You may forget everything and bury your head in your pillow. A feather futon should gently protect you from everything. I'll be counting on you to finish up the rest. Leave it to me. Leave everything else to me, and sleep. The witch who had questioned Battler hid herself, and the other witch who had appeared from behind remained. She certainly was identical, the same witch, but her expression was somehow indifferent and ice cold, completely removed from the one who, despite seeming drunk up until then, had been in high spirits.
Hey! Are you listening? Isn't this enough for that test thing? I don't care whether I passed or failed. I won't be satisfied until I can bash your face. Come down here, or else open this door.
The witch did not answer. Her eyes were as ice cold as Battler's shoulders. She was now clearly a different person since the time she'd first appeared on that balcony. The witch gazed into my eyes and gave 2 small shakes of the head. Even without words, I was able to gather that she was expressing some kind of disappointment. Without saying anything, the witch turned on her heels. After that, only Battler remained, the cold rain still beating down on him. The study was in the middle of a lively party. It seemed that Gop was making fun of Virgilia, having tripped her up in some stupid way. They were spitting Lia 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 and Gop 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 at each other. With this as a sideshow, Kinzo and Runaway had opened a new bottle.
Oh, you're back. How were the results of Battler's test? Maria's test got passing remarks with no complaints, you see. I've despised her as a little girl. But see, why, oh my, not bad.
It seemed like Kinzo was dead drunk. Facing Beato, who had returned, he laughed with the same level of tension as the time they'd left for the tests. However, Runaway and Virgilia instantly noticed the change in enthusiasm. Gop also froze her expression and went silent.
What is it, Beatrice, my beloved witch? Not enough to drink? Not enough on the side? Let's pour it all over a cow or something and roast it whole. Ooh, not bad. Runaway, prepare one right away. Beatrice, let's leave the results of Battler's test for later. Why don't we have a toast with spare rib first?
Roast yourself whole.
What?
The witch, who had spoken bluntly, coldly passed by Kinzo's side as he doubled over laughing in a great mood. Then, behind the witch's back, the old summoner's body suddenly went up in flames.
Yeah! Why?
As crimson flame spat from his eyes, mouth, nose, every hole on his body, Kinzo rolled around. Even though it was a terrible hellfire, it didn't burn anything except Kinzo. Kinzo didn't have a clue what was going on. Unable to understand why Beatrice, who had been in such a good mood, had suddenly turned so cold, he rolled around. The dancing silhouettes of the witch and demons created by that massive rolling torch looked like a group of excited spectators around a burning at the stake. However, the eyes of the demons who watched over it were indifferent. When Kinzo finally stopped moving, the fire disappeared, leaving a pitch-black corpse. The inside of the room was commanded by the stillness of the sound of the rain. What has happened, milady? I've gotten over my excitement. Clean up those bothersome cinders. Beatrice's expression was unbelievably indifferent. There was an iciness that might easily bring the others to the same fate as Kinzo if they annoyed her. Yes, I'll clean it up. Gop made a jet-black pitfall swallow up Kinzo's cinders. If she hadn't carried out that quickly, Gop might also have been burned. You could even feel that thirst for blood. No, a thirst for blood probably isn't the best way to describe it. Just like humans don't have any particular emotions when they step on an ant while they're walking, that was how much, unconsciously and mercilessly, Beato was now filled with a brutal emptiness that wouldn't hesitate at burying a passerby. What is it, Beato? I don't want to answer. No, even answering is too much of a pain to do now. What is it? This isn't like you. Did something happen? Did Battler say something? Yeah. Beatrice didn't even answer. It seemed that she even ignored it. But there was a change in Gop. From her feet, a creaking, cracking sound rose, like thin ice breaking, and in an instant turned Gop into a glass sculpture. Gop! Disappear for a while. I'm in a very bad mood. Beatrice spoke that in a truly cold voice, which could freeze the heart just by hearing it. Certainly. Then please allow us to retire. If you need anything, call at any time. After bowing, Ronove turned into a cloud of gold butterflies and hid himself. After turning Gop, who had become a sculpture, into a cloud of gold butterflies, Virgilia also turned into a cloud, which mixed in with the others and disappeared. In the study made untidy by drinking, Beatrice stood still, alone. Since the time she had returned, her expression hadn't changed in the slightest. However, when she saw the fallen empty wine bottles and scattered cheese plates, her brow furrowed and she looked a bit displeased. And when she whispered, "Disappear," in that instant the room was cleaned up in a flash, as though nothing had happened. The reception chairs were neatly arranged and there was no wine or cheese. There were no stains or scattered trash either. To the contrary, even the air had frozen over. And enough to make one doubt whether a large number of noisy people really had been in this room until a short while ago, the study had returned to silence. In that silent, frigid study where even the air had frozen, Beatrice stood still. Then she called, muttering, "Battler, are you there?" "I've been here for a while. What the hell's going on with you? You've been strange since a short while ago." "Do I seem strange? My apologies." "Even though you were drinking so happily with that damn geezer, you suddenly burned him up. And your demon-ass friend is a glass sculpture. When you told the demon butler and your teacher to leave, they disappeared right away at your words. Just how fickle and selfish are you?" "Battler, I'm done." "Done with what?" "I've grown bored of this." "Huh? Well, you were the one who started this game." "Heh. If you've had enough, that's great for me. So basically, you're giving up?" "I am not giving up. I am simply ending it. No, I won't even end it. I am just abandoning this game for all eternity." "Doesn't that mean you're giving up?" "Nah, the words "got bored of it and threw it away" fit you perfectly." "That is correct. I grew bored of it, and am throwing it away. I don't care what happens next. It can remain abandoned and gather dust as much as you like.
What's going on with you? You've been kinda hard to deal with since a short while ago. Are these still the after effects of that incomprehensible test from earlier? If you've got a grudge, all you have to do is say so clearly. You said in red that it has nothing to do with you, but that's gotta be a play on words, right? It's written all over your face. You have a grudge against me.
How many times will I have to say I have no grudge against you before you'll understand? At the time you committed your sin, I did not exist. As Beato spoke with an offended expression, her face twisted to look even more displeased. Fickle. Inconsistent. Moody. Temperamental. Selfish and simple-minded and cruel. But even so, she hadn't shown an expression as strange as this even once until now.
Well, you were the one who provoked me into this game. I'm a bit let down that it wasn't resolved, but feel free to invite me again if you feel like it. But when that happens, allow me to politely refuse, okay?
He intentionally spoke in a mocking tone, but Beato showed no reaction. Battler hung his head and clicked his tongue.
We've circled around October 4th and 5th over and over again, but I've finally had just about enough of this role. This way, the boat will come tomorrow. That's right, and the seagulls will return to the harbor. I'll finally be able to hear Rockenjima's signature nya nya cries. After that, after all, maybe because of the weather, they weren't there at all when I came to the island. When the seagulls cry, everything will end, I guess. All done. The end. What a relief.
Exactly what is it that you're misunderstanding?
What did you say?
I said that nothing would end. With this, everything will be abandoned. The game will be forgotten, and the pieces on the board will be abandoned as they lay. There will be no advancing or returning, no taking and being taken. No victory, no defeat, not even a tie. Just abandoned.
Doesn't that mean it's over?
Wrong. On my turn, the game will stop for all eternity. Your turn will not come. So there will be no victory, nor defeat, nor a tie. In the past, I couldn't let you do that. After all, one of my goals was winning against you. However, I've lost interest. So there is no longer any point in making moves any longer.
What do you mean, by my turn not coming?
I'd thought that Beato getting tired of the game meant I'd be released, and that I'd be able to escape Rockenjima. But for some reason, Beato's repeated words about the difference between abandoning the game and settling it caught my attention. Just what is it she's been saying? And why the bad mood? At that time, I suddenly heard a voice from behind me. When I turned around, there was someone I thought I might or might not remember from somewhere. A mysterious girl with no light in her eyes was standing there. What this kid's saying goes something like this. She means putting the lid on this game and leaving the pieces as they are. The game will be locked away for all eternity without ending. The only way for you to return to your original world is to win against Beato. So, if Beato abandons the game, get it? Suddenly, in a different place, was a girl wearing a bright pink dress. I had a feeling I'd met her somewhere too, but I couldn't remember. More important was the meaning of her words. If the game is abandoned, then... Huh? That's right. A match won't be resolved unless enemies and allies meet. It would mean that you'd never be able to win and escape from this world for all eternity. what it comes down to, I guess, is something like taking the key to the cage that you're locked in, fastening it to the collar of a pigeon or something, and letting it fly. This isn't funny, Beato. We didn't come this far to watch such a boring game. Calling it a day like this is no joke. I agree with Lambda. I came here to make Battler win and to make you writhe in defeat. I still haven't achieved that goal. I won't stand for you abandoning the game at a time like this and running away. I acknowledge that it would mean the curtain call for a game that disappoints you ladies. However, I, the host of this tea party, am fickle. Once it's lost its fun, I know no way of entertaining. I believe that's been my witch-like way of doing things from the very beginning. There are no problems, yes? Certainly. I won't go against your creed. I won't accept it. Quit fooling around. How much do you think I've supported you? You think I'd be okay with that after all this preparation? No mess with me. I am saying that I have tired of it. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's not gonna fly. We'll have you continue this game. You want to win against Battler, right? You want to win and make him surrender, right? You're almost there, aren't you? Am I right?
Don't ask me that. But I have an opinion too. Let me say it.
What?
This is a fight you picked. I'm prepared to settle this once and for all. I've come close to surrendering many times, but I've never had any intention of escaping partway through, leaving the match undecided. Since I'm here, showing the will to fight, you'd better not run away, Beatrice.
I agree. Getting Battler involved and then leaving without giving him victory or defeat is just too irresponsible. Suddenly, even Gretel was there, and everyone was calling Beato irresponsible. Oh, it seems I'm mostly being called irresponsible because Battler will, as my opponent, be stuck. In that case, Battler, will you step down from being an opponent as I shall? That way I will have done nothing worthy of your criticism.
If I step down, will I be able to leave Rock and Jima?
There's no chance you'll be able to leave. Just be covered in dust and let it pile up on your shoulders. Quit fooling around. What an irresponsible person. You've killed such a large number of people. On top of that, using a witch's power, you've done it over and over. Killing in gruesome ways. I definitely won't let you escape without taking responsibility. Responsibility? Oh, what is it I should do to take this so-called responsibility? Fight until a resolution is reached. Battler will sit in the chair across from you, never giving up and fighting until he beats you. So you too, fight until you're defeated. If you don't like that, try and defeat Battler. I won't forgive you if you leave everything unresolved and abandon Battler in this chair, locking him up and never letting him return. I won't forgive you. Gretel. To be perfectly honest, I didn't really understand from what standpoint Gretel was trying to save me, but in her words, I could feel a strong determination to save me from this insane game world no matter what. So I responded in kind.
Beato, face me. I am here, across from you, in the seat of your rival. Get it? As long as I continue to sit here, I won't allow you to escape. So don't escape. Fight. Isn't this a fight you started? You did all that crap over and over, making a complete mess of things. How could I let you end it because you're tired after all this time? I am your opponent. As long as I'm here, I won't let you escape. Are you listening, you irresponsible witch? Try saying something!
After I yelled at her, Beato went silent for a while. Whether my words had reached her, or whether she was thinking about something completely different, I couldn't tell. But for a while, she was silent, gazing at me with an expression I could read no emotion from. And when she realized that I'd noticed, she averted her gaze. Then she turned her back to me and said this. So, since Battler will not quit as my opponent, the ladies are saying that my abandonment of this game will not be acknowledged. In that case, let's ask. Let's see if the man over there was qualified to be my opponent in the first place. Qualified?
Probably has something to do with that test or whatever just now.
What are you planning to do?
Don't tell me you're...
I will now determine whether or not you are qualified to be my opponent. You ready, Battler? If those qualifications are acknowledged, I will stay in my seat and continue the game, and I shall promise to fight for all eternity until the outcome is decided.
Heh, I was ready for that from the beginning.
However, if you are not qualified, you must disappear. If the opponent disappears, there is no game. I can leave this place openly. Are the ladies satisfied? Interruptions will not be necessary. Go ahead. Do as you like.
But, Battler,
you make sure you answer well.
The very reason I'm here is because I'm qualified, right? Heh, there's nothing to be scared of.
You couldn't be. Gretel grew suddenly pale. I thought her to be the calm, collected type, so that expression surprised me. Well then, Battler, I shall have you repeat it in red.
You're telling me to repeat something? Damn you, stealing my signature move. But can I use the red truth too? How?
If you wish for it to be that way, you can do it. It's easy.
My name is Assure Me a Battler.
Whoa, pretty cool. Stop it. I know what you're after. But stop that. When Gretel yelled, Beato glared at her. Then her form was wiped away in an instant. Shut up. Leave your seat for a while. You too, ladies. If you interfere, I will not hold back. We won't get in the way. Go ahead. Do as you like.
But, Bern, this is bad.
She's trying to erase Battler.
What's that? What's she planning?
Well then, I shall question your qualifications. Interesting. Attack and defense are reversed from a normal game. This is a very precious experience, coming at the very, very end. Ready? Listen carefully. I will speak with the red first. I am the Golden Witch Beatrice, and I opened this game in order to fight Ashura Kinzo's grandchild, Ashura Battler.
I know that. So what?
Repeat it. Ashura Battler's mother is Ashura Asumu.
What? Why is Mom's name popping up all of a sudden?
I do not require chatter. Just repeat it in red. Beato urged me with the same indifferent tone. but I don't have a clue what she's trying to do. I have absolutely nothing to feel guilty for that would trouble me if thrown in my face, and there's nothing that I'm hiding. There's nothing that could trouble me by demanding that I repeat it. So, why do something like this? Sure, I'll repeat it. Ashuramiya Battler's mother is Ashuramiya Asumu. The red sure is convenient. No need to bother myself with bringing a copy of the family register. Idle chatter is unnecessary. Let's continue. Your name is Ashuramiya Battler. Sure. My name is Ashuramiya Battler. It was from Ashuramiya Asumu that Ashuramiya Battler was born. It was from Ashuramiya Asumu that Ashuramiya Battler was born. It was from Ashuramiya Asumu that you were born. It was from Ashuramiya... At that time, my throat suddenly closed. I was rapidly assaulted with a choking suffocation. What's going on? One more time. It was from Ashuramiya Asumu that I was born. Damn! It was from Ashuramiya Asumu that I was born. What the hell? Even though I was doing it so easily a second ago, I suddenly stopped being able to get the red to work? Do you refuse to repeat it? I'm not refusing anything. It's not working for some reason. It was from Ashuramiya Asumu that I was born. Why? Damn it, why can't I use the red? What the hell? My mom is Ashuramiya Asumu, right? Why can't I say that fact in red? What's going on? This is... If you try to forcefully speak red that cannot be spoken, you choke. There is no need to strain yourself. Allow me to use the aforementioned fact to press you in blue. Do you remember? The blue is used to proclaim a theory for the opponent to deny. They are then burdened with the responsibility of denying that in red, and if they do not, it becomes your victory. Then let us begin. Due to my previous demand to repeat and your subsequent refusal, I proclaim that you are not qualified to be my opponent. After all, Beatrice opened this game in order to fight with Ashuramiya Kinzo's grandchild, Ashuramiya Battler. This gave you the responsibility as my opponent to declare in red that you are Ashuramiya Kinzo's grandchild, Ashuramiya Battler. You have refused to repeat that. This means the loss of your qualifications. Deny something about that in red. Quickly. Sure. I am Ashuramiya Battler. Because I can say that in red. I should be your opponent. It may be a fact that you have the name Ashuramiya Battler. However, people's names are not exclusive. There is a possibility that multiple humans have the name Ashuramiya Battler. In short, this is what it means. You are a different person with the same first and last names as Ashuramiya Asumu's son, Ashuramiya Battler. What did you say? Don't be so stupid! I'm Mom's child. Ashuramiya Asumu's child. It was from Ashuramiya Asumu that... Wow. Damn! Why? Why can't I say that I was born from my mom? How could something so stupid be true? No need to suffer. I will not toy with you. This is checkmate. You are not Ashuramiya Asumu's son. What? You're kidding me. Who are you? What person calling themselves a Shurimiya battler?
Wait a second. I am a Shurimiya battler. It was from Shurimiya Asumu that I was born, and I'm Dad and Mom's son.
No. There is no way that you are my opponent, a Shurimiya battler. With this as proof.
Proof, you say?
You do not know of that sin 6 years ago.
That's...
No, the true Ashuramiya battler would not have committed a sin. But a sin did occur in the end. That span of 6 years became a blank space, and a man who knew nothing of that time took on the name Ashuramiya battler and appeared on Rokkenjima. That truth goes like this. 6 years ago, my opponent, the true Ashuramiya battler, was already dead. You were part of a plot by Rudolph to have having something to do with the distribution of the inheritance. A body double set up in Ashuramiya battler's place.
How could something that stupid be true? That's so ridiculous.
But battler, get a hold of yourself. Well, if he can't counter back, there's nothing more to do. Battler did not possess that qualification. That's how it is.
Are you okay with that, Burn? If you accept that, you'll lose too, right?
Won't you win? Why are you taking Battler's side? What a shame, Battler. What a real shame that you didn't have the qualifications to be Beatrice's opponent. I was careless myself, betting on an unqualified piece. It's my utter defeat, Beatrice. There is no victory or defeat. The opponent will simply disappear. Or perhaps I should say that he was never there to begin with.
But then, who am I? Am I not Dad and Mom's kid? Who am I? What am I? If I'm not Mom's kid, then what? Are you saying I'm a kid they picked up somewhere, like a stray cat?
If that is the case, it would mean that you do not share Kinzo's blood. Either way, you are not qualified to compete in this game.
You're kidding me. You're kidding me.
Enough. From the very beginning, I was faintly aware of the possibility that you weren't a Shurimiya battler. So I had to question you. I had to ask about something the real battler would have known. What a shame. I even bet on the 1 in a quadrillion chance of a miracle that you might really be a Shurimiya battler. But it seems you really are a different person with the same first and last names. Bit by bit, Battler's form began to be clouded in darkness. No, maybe it was the other way around. The whole world was clouded in darkness, leaving only Battler. Battler was down on all fours, hanging his head and repeatedly questioning himself. However, he was not given an answer. In the world stained with darkness, Beato spoke something and Lambda Delta ran up to him, yelling something very quickly. But it already seemed very far away, and it didn't reach Battler's ears. Then he, not knowing who he himself was, erased himself.
Battler!
Now my opponent has disappeared. Well then, if you'll excuse me. And ladies, you should get ready for your journey. No more festivities have been prepared for in my territory. It was good seeing you. goodbye. Without saying anything more, she clouded her own form in darkness as well and disappeared. Are you okay with this? Ballet, just disappear, right? I know how much you hate losing. Are you really okay with this? Weren't you betting on my defeat? Good for you then. Congratulations, Lambda. Let's meet again in some other world, okay? Well, this is a world of endless fragments. The chances of us having some connection again somewhere are probably less than 1 in a quadrillion. Anyway, it was fun. Bye-bye. Wait up, Burn! Chasing after Burn Castell, who had disappeared first, Lambda Delta disappeared as well. After that, everyone was gone, and the study was now completely empty. It returned to silence, almost as though no one had been there from the outset. No one was here in the first place. The silent study spoke that wordlessly, and the sound of the wind and rain began to fill the room bit by bit. In a world where everything had sunk into darkness, Beato questioned herself. As I thought, from the very beginning, magic should only have been used within Mariage Sorcière. Seems so. I also thought that with Angie. The Witches' Alliance is you and I. It started with those two, including other people, was our first mistake. It's just so fun. We wanted to add someone close to us into that circle. And we wished that the Witches' Alliance would get really large, that everyone would be able to use fun magic together, and that we'd all be happy. However, only you and I were able to understand magic, after all. We are the only 2 witches in this world who were brought together by a miracle. And now, as long as I have Beato, I don't need anyone else. Me too. As long as you are here, I don't need anyone else anymore. In the very first moment that Mariage Sorcière was formed, it was already complete. That is so. That is truly so. It was once a witches' alliance to make everyone happy together with magic. I wonder when it got this screwed up. What did I want to do when I started this game? I can't really remember even that. No, I may remember. But that's a feeling I now wish to throw away to the far side of oblivion. It's okay. Why not forget everything? Let's have a Mariage Sorcière for just the 2 of us. We'll acknowledge each other, and no one will hurt us. So we won't be hurt. We won't cry. Let's forget everything. Hey Beato, we are eternal. Maria. Oh. And that's the end of that segment. Another long one, and I think we have at least one more long one as we hurtle towards the end of this section. This episode, I should say. And the full-on halfway mark. It's coming soon. But next time, it sounds like we'll have a tone shift as we return to the world of the future. Thank you for watching. See you next time.